going. Boom. We are now recording. So who do we got? We got Mr. Koenig. What is happening, my dude? We got Austin. We got Evan. We got Lisa, aka Sloan. We got Leah. And I need to rename myself so I can have my team name up there. Good call, Leah. North Buff Josh there. Boom. Awesome. We got that going. Let me get some more screens up here. We got Alyssa. Hello, Alyssa. We got Jacob. What's up, Jacob? Sloan, did you just get your lashes did? Oh, you have little lashes going on there? Maybe? Am I just seeing things? I don't know. So guys, I'm super excited for tonight's team meeting. We got a fantastic lineup. We're gonna do things a little bit differently here this evening. Do a little switcherooski, switching things up a little tiny bit. So with that being said, we do have a lot to cover, and we are recording. So I'm just gonna get rolling with everything we got here. Before I start with what I wanted to go over, Case or Alyssa or Austin or Jacob, is there anything that you guys wanted to cover before we dive into like recognition and the rest of the information? Anything you guys wanted to go over? Give me a thumbs up if you're good. Unmute yourself if you got something you want to go over. Jack's on board. Hello, Jax. And we got Abigail Red. What's up, Abigail? Awesome. We got Jordan coming on. Hello, Jordan. Looks like she's in the rain, but she's a trooper and she's still on the team meeting, even in the rain and umbrellas. Rihanna Umbrella. Great song. So pumped. Let's go. Let's do it then. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's dive right in here. So my favorite time of the week, without question, is and always will be the team meeting. So if you haven't had a chance to label yourself yet, please go ahead and do that. That always helps us.
Also, Josh, can I share something real quick?
You absolutely can. That's what I asked for.
Okay, I know you did. So then I was just like, you know what? Why haven't I shared what I wanted to say? So these are two completely random topics, nothing to do about, in my opinion, Cutco, but just productivity tips or maybe a financial tip for you. Okay, so this is my financial tip. There are always things that you are not currently using around your house that you could easily put on Facebook Marketplace and make some extra side cash super quick. Our goal is to help you make more money in life. And I will tell you, it's a good thing to do on occasion and sell things on Facebook Marketplace. If you ever want tips on that or need help listing or, don't really know what to say about something, you can always ask Josh or myself. We're pretty good at spicing things up to promote them to then sell them. But I sold a chair today from a lady who came and bought a chair. So that was cool. The other thing I'll tell you about, and I was just thinking about this, I thought of how much time I could have been more productive during my college days doing lunch or dinner. I think about this nowadays, how short my time is to eat lunch or dinner at this point in time in my life. And for some reason, as a young person, I thought I had to go and hang out at the fraternity house, meet all of my buddies there. Then we'd have to all walk together to go to the dining hall. Then we had to sit there for like an hour and a half talking about whatever the heck we would talk about, sometimes productive things, mostly non-productive things. And then we'd have to then divvy up. And that hour and a half to 2 hours, I would say about 2 hours, hour, at least hour, would be wasted where I could have just grabbed something really, really quickly and ate it and then just went back to doing work or so. I didn't need to take 2 hours for lunch or 2 hours for dinner hanging out with buddies all the time. Now, I'm not saying it's not fun to do on occasion, but I do think when people are in college, they get used to being very unproductive around lunchtime or dinner time where they make it a big event when it does not need to be a big event. You can actually be productive around eating food and stuff like that. So I'm sure Alyssa and Josh know what I'm talking about. But again, that was just a side note I thought of today of how much on productivity or non-productivity I did when it was during lunchtime. So again, two completely different things, have nothing to do about Cutco, but just I just wanted to share those things with everybody before we dive in.
Oh, my video just turned off. Timeout. Let's get that thing started back up. Oh, we're back. Okay. So I agree. I spent plenty of time on non-productive stuff when I was in college doing lunch and dinners with my friends and all that stuff. So you just have to remember, when you're in college, you're going to be surrounded with most people that are completely unproductive 24/7. Like, they barely do homework and show up to class. Okay. So do not allow yourself to go down to like the average college student. Bring your friends up to your level. Okay. So don't slump down to them. Bring them up to you. I think that's a really important point. Okay. But I do want to say welcome to the greatest place on earth. As always, who's got it better than us? Absolutely, positively nobody. It's so great to see you all. I can't wait to deliver all the goods and everything that we got in store for you guys here this evening. As we always tell you, there are two ways to go through the meeting. Okay. Two. Number one, don't apply yourself. Don't take any notes or write anything down. Super lame. Remember, nobody wins when you're too cool for school. Okay. Second way is to dive in, become a master of the business. Make sure your camera's on. If you have your camera, side by side view, if you could do that. Be engaged in the chat. Speaking of the chat, let's do a little heat check right here. Okay. So go ahead and hit me with some hot news in the chat. Okay. Inside the job, outside the job, whatever it happens to be. Give me a little hot news in the chat right here. Okay. So what's happening in your world? What's going on? Lee got to meet Caleb Smith, fellow assistant manager today. That is fantastic. That's super cool. I remember when I met Sloan like a month ago or so, I was so pumped to finally get to meet her after being on my team for a few months. So I know in this virtual world, it means even more today. So that's definitely pretty sweet. Abigail's finals are almost done. We know what Abigail can do. We know like the things that she can do for the Erie office, for the Erie and NoCo teams and everything. So we know that she's about to blow things up. So that's exciting. Let's see. Alyssa said that their meeting of Caleb's and Leah's warmed her heart. That's pretty darn cool. Austin's volleyball league starts tomorrow, little beach volleyball. Hopefully it's not all muddy and stuff. So that's exciting. Or sand volleyball, beach volleyball, whatever, you get it. Okay. Let's see. Evan just bag and tagged his first spring turkey. That's exciting. Good job, Evan. That's definitely cool. Jordan said she's also almost done with her finals. So all of her finals. So I'm sure she must be super pumped for that. Let's see. Leah FaceTimed Alyssa and made her Cutco heart happy. I like that. That's pretty cool. Jacob got recognized as the co-recipient of the award for top business student of his graduating class. Congratulations, Jacob. That's definitely pretty cool. So we love when Vector people are doing big things inside and outside of the job. So that is fantastic. So in my world, I got my girlfriend this little like coffee, like wine, alcohol bar thingy and like set it up for her and made it look like cool. And she absolutely loved it. So I was pretty pumped about that she just really liked it. So lots of big things happening for a lot of different people. I love it, guys. That's super exciting. So tonight, one of the things that we're going to be going over is I definitely want to, after we do a little bit of recognition right here, let me just stop the share. Mind the gallery view. There we go. So we're going to do what Reddit calls an AMA. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of an AMA. Alyssa, of course. Leah, awesome, Leah. Very cool. Jack says so. It stands for Ask Me Anything. Okay, guys. So it stands for Ask Me Anything. So tonight, me, Alyssa, Case, we're gonna be taking questions. So in the next like 30 minutes or so before we get there, we definitely want to make sure that you guys have any questions that you're wondering. And it could be anything job related, like anything about Vector that you're wondering. Make sure you ask us because we want to be able to help your guys' experience, not just in Cutco, but to help you take it outside of Cutco. So that's pretty awesome. And like Alyssa said, like 2 to 3 questions would be fantastic. Congrats, Case, on winning the helmet. So now we have sort of matching helmets right here. So I think that's pretty cool. So mine's a little tight. So it definitely hurts. I'm probably gonna have a headache after this. I haven't had to don a freaking helmet since 2005, I think. So Oklahoma drill, me and Case, I will wreck him. Just kidding, Case. You're awesome, dude. But definitely pretty. Oh man, Case is busted out the gun show. So get it, big dog. Get it. Oh, look at him go. Look at him. This guys, team meeting's already getting crazy tonight. Like, we don't know what's about to happen. It's gonna continue getting wild though. So I like it. I like it a lot. So definitely awesome. So let's talk about the agenda. Again, we're gonna do a little bit of recognition. Okay. We're gonna listen to the Vector Opportunity Changing Lives, Selling Knives podcast with Jeff Gamboa. So that's gonna be sweet. Then we're going to go over a new resource for all of you. Write this down in your notes somewhere or bookmark it on your computer, www.buffalorepdashboard.com. And then we'll get into Q&A, Ask Us Anything, and then we'll be diving into a phone jam rockathon. So I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, buffalorepdashboard.com. buffalorepdashboard.com. So guys, want to do a little bit of recognition here this evening, and then Case and Alyssa are going to do some things they want to highlight as well. But we had some people on the newsletter this past week, guys. So Leslie leading the way at 3219. Congrats, Leslie. Marissa right behind her at 3169. We had Jessica Kirk coming in, newer sales rep at 2094. Leah doing big things as always up in the NoCo at 1632. We had Jacob Burkholder at 1217. Andrew Lopez at 1127. Helen Mosley throwback coming in. Finals are about to be done, so Helen's good. Selling at 30% again at 1115. Randy Urbani at 1068. So definitely excited for those newsletter attendees. Top 10 districts. We had the Erie district led by Mr. Kunick at number 8 for the region this past week. We had the North Buffalo team at number 7 this past week. So great job to the North Buffalo team and to the Erie team for being in the top 10. Also, I want to recognize the North Country. If you don't know, that they eclipsed the $100,000 mark. So congratulations to NoCo, Leah, Alyssa, obviously, the rest of you guys on the note, even if you're not directly on the North Country team, like Jacob, for example, and Case, obviously, great job. That's super, super challenging, super hard to do, but you guys did it, and it's only going to be bigger and bigger and bigger from here. So that's definitely cool. Also, I want to recognize the Erie team for being up 81%. Let me repeat that, 81% for the spring campaign for 2020 compared to 2021. So what that means, the Erie team has almost doubled their sales for where they're at last year at this time. That's freaking sweet. So, and the North Buffalo team up 89%, right around the same amount. So that's definitely exciting for the North Buff squad. So certainly excited for that. So Alyssa, Case, I'm going to stop sharing real quick. Anything that you guys wanted to add, any people or things that you guys wanted to highlight, I'm going to mute myself.
I'll go first. Yeah, so I'm just really proud of my team. I'm proud of everybody that has put in some hard work. People who are new, people who are not new. I'm excited that my team is starting to get to know each other more. I'm glad I'm being able to bring people together, and you guys are bringing other people together every time you bring a friend aboard to the team or tell somebody about the position. So I'm really super pumped about that. And yeah, I mean, Josh, you hit the big ones, but just wanted to say thank you to my team. And we're about to double our 100K over the summer. So rock on, guys.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in our organization, whether people are aware or not, we have some great social media young ladies that I've been interviewing, and I've been also teaching them all about social media during different trainings as well. In terms of the current team members, I've been getting more messages from Jax with different phone numbers of people that he's been messaging, or he's been sharing with me different people that have responded back to him on Snapchat about the position. So that's pretty awesome. And I have had more individuals, even from social media individuals. So a young lady named Alyssa, who just started with me on Tuesday, she sent out some messages, and we had 2 people in for interviews right away and scheduled them for interviews. And that last summer was a great summer. We did pretty well, but I know that we're already on track, 80% better than where we were last year at this time. Although I did meet some great people in the month of April last year, I've met some great people also this month of April. And so I know we're going to do a lot bigger and better this May. I know some of my team members are currently in finals, and I get that, but it's very exciting once they're finished, because we're going to be able to flip the switch. And I'm going to explain this real quick. And I was telling, I think it was Josh, this. So there are times like you've seen the light switch where you can turn it on and you can turn it off. And what I explained to Josh, I was just having this topic with him of how I've dimmed the light switch at times, but I never flip it off. So there's a difference between turning on and off or dimming the lights. Okay. They're still on, but they're dimming. So there are times at Cutco where I dim a little bit because I have other things going on in my life, like a wedding, things like that. But there's times where I can just flip it on to full brightness as well. Some young people, when they're new at this, they turn it on and off. There are some weeks where they have Cutco off, and then there's some weeks where they have Cutco on. I know that whether you've been dimming or whether the light switch has been off, I know many people are going to flip that light switch to on this summer. And needless to say, the Erie explosion is going to blow up very quickly here. But in terms of sales, Evan and Jacob, I know Evan is on this call. Those 2 young men just went through training real recently, last Tuesday. They both have had set sales. They both have hit their first promotions, which is really exciting. And they're now at 15%. Both of them have shown I think they both showed 5 ladies, so nothing too crazy, but they've been very productive and efficient with those husbands and wives when they are showing them Cutco. And then Jessica, a young lady that started on Saturday, same thing. She had one really big one where a customer bought a Santoku style signature set, which was just a guy from her church. She was just showing him Cutco. So, but she worked really hard that very first day. I know she did 9 Cutco demos her first day on Saturday, and she completed 7 because a couple had some tech issues, and she had 3 different sales that day. And needless to say, she wasn't feeling so great. So we had a chit chat about that and about, there's a learning curve when you're new at this type of thing. And then she had her very big one that next day. She had a very large one. We also had a conversation earlier today about, because she right now doesn't feel like she's doing amazing. She wants to do more, but I just know it's a learning curve as well. So there are times where you may doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. You're in the role you're supposed to be in. Just, also turn on your belief. Don't turn it on and off. Have a dimmer. You might go down in belief, but again, turn that bad boy up. Believe in yourself more. Believe you can accomplish big things, and you can. But that's all the recognition and things I wanted to cover for the Erie team. And we did quite a bit last week, which was pretty impressive. But we're going to do more next week and more next week. And I just can't wait to see numbers go up in all aspects. But Josh, you can take it away.
All right. Awesome stuff. So I want to also recognize on our team, I want to recognize Sloan for her first week as an official SMRI, sending out messages and everything. So sending out a ton. So Sloan definitely doing her part in helping us build the team. Also want to recognize Austin as our recruiting manager, along with his responsibilities of being a branch manager as well. So having like a dual role. And a couple numbers to write down, okay? If you're a part of the Erie team, write down 305. If you're part of the North Buff team, write down 386. And if you're a part of the NOCO team, write down 290. So if you take those numbers, that is the thousands of dollars your team needs to sell this summer in order to break your team's record, okay? North Buff, 386 grand. We got to beat Erie 305 and the NOCO team about 290. So they're records for a reason because they've only happened once. But just because it's only happened once, that just means that it's bound to happen again. So it's going to take a collective effort from everybody involved in order to hit the places that we want to do. But we talked about the $1 million summer, right? The Erie NOCO and Buffalo Alliance in districts. So if we break our record, Erie breaks their record, and NOCO breaks their record, that's going to be about $1 million in CPO right there just from the summertime. So imagine what that can do to the Empire Division, putting on your resume that you were part of a record-breaking team, that you contributed X amount to a record-breaking district sales team. So lots of cool things coming right there. So next thing we're going to be talking about, let me share my screen again, is I want to talk about this podcast from Jeff Gamboa. It's the replay. It's not the full podcast. So it's about like 12 or 13 minutes about what it means to be vector trained. So let's go ahead and let's dive into this right here. This, guys, you definitely want to take some notes on. You're definitely going to want to write some things down because he goes over some just incredible reminders, philosophies, perspective shifts, what vector does for you, and just how it can have a huge impact on your life. So let's go ahead and let's dive in right here. So Flashback Friday episode from episode 2. It is episode 219, Jeff Gamboa and Vector Trained.
Hi, this is Dan Cassetta. Welcome to Flashback Friday on Changing Lives, Selling Knives. This podcast was created to share inspiring stories from people who are positively impacting the world using lessons and skills they first learned from selling Cutco knives with Vector Marketing Corporation. Episodes feature some of Cutco's most prominent alumni and top-achieving current leaders. Flashback Friday is your chance to hear a short piece of one of my favorite past episodes. We'll hand-select the best nuggets to share with you in this short form. The lessons of the Cutco Vector experience are numerous, are compelling, and are real-world concepts for business and life. Thanks for pressing play. Let's get on with today's flashback. Today we are flashing back to episode number 21 with legendary Cutco Vector Division Manager Jeff Gamboa. Jeff coined the term vector trained to represent the wide range of skills and competencies that people gain through selling Cutco, participating in Vector's Leadership Academy, and advancing into leadership positions with the company. These competencies include most or all of the most important skills for success in the real world of business today. In this short snippet, Jeff outlines the skill set of someone who's vector trained, both as a sales rep and as a manager. We even get into some of the mental attitude aspects of being vector trained and how successful people think. If you're a relatively new Cutco rep, there's so much you have to look forward to in terms of skill development, setting yourself apart from your peers, and preparing yourself for even bigger challenges in your professional life in the future. Working in Vector will set you on your way towards becoming a 5-star recruit in the corporate marketplace. And if you're a longer-term veteran with Vector or one of our amazing alumni, you'll know exactly what we're talking about when you hear about the qualities of being Vector trained. And the path of development for people like this audience never stops. This episode is sponsored by Brain Fuel, a new cerebral beverage co-founded by Silver Cup Cutco alum Colton Horn. Brain Fuel is scientifically derived from coffees, teas, collagens, and antioxidants. It prolongs mental focus, sharpens alertness and decision-making, and protects your brain from burnout. I can tell you from personal experience that its impact is astounding. Brain Fuel is spelled uniquely because it is unique. It's BREINFUEL. Go to brainfuel.com to check it out. And if you use the code CLSK when you check out, you'll get 35% off your first order. You can see all our sponsors at changinglivespodcast.com/deals. Enjoy this flashback segment from Jeff Gamboa, and be sure to revisit the full episode number 21. What I really wanted to talk with you a lot about today is this concept of being vector trained.
Yeah.
So you coined this term more than anyone else I know. And that the term vector trained refers to the skills that people develop working with vector, both the technical skills and the mental skills. And I really want to dig into this because I think the people both inside and outside of Vector can really gain a lot of insights from the wide range of skills that make people successful here in this company. And so let's start a little bit with the angle towards sales and communication. What do you feel like it means to be Vector trained as a salesperson?
Yeah, this is great, Dan. I'm coming onto this podcast immediately after a one-on-one meeting with a young lady who just started, and she won a networking lunch with the division manager, and you can get tips. She's brand new. She's paying her way at University of Alabama, and in 3 weeks, she's pretty much paid her way. 3-4 weeks, starting the job fresh. Her brother's involved in the business too. I said, so tell me what you're learning about, just what are you learning as a salesperson with Cutco? And so everything she said is everything that comes to mind right now. She said, I'm learning how to organize my time better than any time in my life. I'm learning how to work hard. What I thought was hard work before, like when I make blank amount of calls in an hour versus what I thought was hard work, I'm learning that. I'm learning how to take rejection and not take it personally and to move on so quickly. And her brother's actually a district manager with their company. She said, I just watched my brother Luke for so many years just brush it off, and like I can do that now. She's talked about, I learn how to stay organized with everything. I learn how to prioritize. I'm able to sell and then see my family and then do church and then see friends, but I'm able to do that all at a high level. I'm learning business skills. I have more money in my bank account than I've ever seen. So I'm learning how to create a checking and a savings account. I'm learning how to save for my future. And those are the ones that just stood out. And more importantly, learning how to speak to people. Like that to her, I'm 18 years old. She just graduated from high school. She's going to her first year of college next year at Bama. And she said, wow, I used to hide in my room sometimes when adults would come over. I would not go to school sometimes when I was feeling, some anxiety towards certain people. And now I have this confidence. And Jeff, honestly, selling a certain amount of money on a sale, it brings you this confidence. When a customer tells you and compliments you on your goals and how they buy into your goals, it brings you confidence. So the underlying theme is this confidence from all these skills that she's learned.
Yeah, that was outstanding. The idea that people build their confidence through having good results. Like I feel like confidence a lot of it comes from success experiences, and people selling Cutco have a chance to succeed much more often than not. Like a good rep is going to sell 7 or 8 out of 10 times, and they're going to have a lot more success than failure. And that is a huge confidence builder. And then, you referenced organization and time management and work ethic and financial success. And all of these are things I think people learn seeds for as a new rep. And then gradually they take these to higher and higher and higher levels as they progress upwards in the company.
Right.
And those are all some of the great elements of being a salesperson that I think people can develop working here.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
On the watch.
Yeah. How about as a leader, Jeff? What are some of the hallmarks of the vector trained leader?
Yeah, as people progress into our leadership academy, which is, our version of management and leadership development, there are things that, like you said, it's an offshoot of these base skills as a sales rep. So they're learning things like circle of influence. As a leader, you're influential. Who you take influence from, and then who your peers are is really important. It's a really important decision. So you're learning the importance of circle of influence and being the average of the 5 or 6 people you associate with. You're learning the importance of just choosing your communication wisely. As a leader, you're learning something one of my closest mentors preaches often is just servant leadership. When you work to serve other people and help people get what they want, it comes back tenfold versus the other way around. And people will follow you more as a leader when you're helping them get what they want versus the other way around. As a leader, just one of the things I think about when I listed all those people is people are always watching. So as a leader, you're a role model. And so it's not do as daddy says, not as daddy does. It's do as daddy says, and also what he does. And I think that's leadership really forces you into this box of being a role model, which is such a great thing for leaders. As leaders, we have to think forward, we have to think ahead, and we have to anticipate things for people. We have to put ourselves in other people's shoes. And then vector trained leaders are always thinking, okay, when I was a rep, I remember feeling like this. So there's that little big element of empathy as a leader, knowing where people are coming from. And again, one of my mentors also says, how do you learn to meet people where they're at and what they're learning and what they're feeling? And then, to your point, for example, as a sales rep, you learn how to be organized, but as a leader, you have to be organized at a higher level and for more people. And you have to have time management, not just as a rep, but on a higher level and for more people. And everything starts to blossom that way. And as a leader too, just feeding our people, indoctrinating, this is directly from you, Dan, indoctrinating our people how to think. So, when you create a culture as a vector trained manager, we set the tone, right? We're the thermostat, not the thermometer. So where we set it, the culture goes. And it's so fun as a leader and a vector trained leader to do that, where we talk about a push week, which is, our contest period. And we talk about how much we're going to sell and how we're going to act and how we're going to do things. And it's fun to watch people do it because we speak it into existence and we lead it into existence. It's really fun. It's really fun.
Yeah. So many good insights right there. What about some other elements of mental attitude, mental toughness? How does someone who's vector trained think? How do they handle adversity?
Yeah, I think in no particular order, I think there's this automatic, it's a default to, okay, there's adversity. There's something not so good right now. There's something painful. And somewhere in there, there's a gift. Somewhere in there, there's either something I'm going to learn. Somewhere in there is something I'm going to take away from this. And, easier said than done, but really vector trained managers will go back and I mentioned going back my transition to Florida. I managed my first 2 years down here. As much as it hurt, I wouldn't have it any other way because I know I'm not who I am, and how we're operating now would not have happened without 2010, 11, and 12. And so there's a gift. I think that's one vector trained way to think. Another way is being a solution finder versus a problem reporter. I can call Dan and say, Dan's my region manager. Dan, can I just, aside from venting in a positive, constructive way, outside of that, I can sit here and just unload all the things that aren't happening and all the problems and what we're not in control of. When a vector trained manager, I think, when they're on their A game, says, well, what can you control right now? Okay, well, or what is the gift? Or even better than that, what can you control? What's the gift? And have you already thought of solutions? And then one thing I also think about is heavy adversity. Smart business people, vector trained people, they assess, they get out of an emotional state. They assess what's going on, and then they just adjust. It's like I just picked up golf this last 2 years, and
hardest thing I've ever done.
Man, but it's all about adjusting. Recovery. The key is recovery, not perfection, recovery. And the better recovery you have, the better your golf game. And in business and in life and vector trained, I think best managers know it's how do you recover? It's not how you thrive, it's how you recover that makes you great.
Mm-hmm.
So
True. Good nuggets in there, Jeff. Any other personal characteristics that stand out of someone who's vector trained?
yeah, high energy at an uncharacteristically high level for people that age, right? And sustained energy and genuine enthusiasm for success, for recognition, and for people's achievements. I think that is a great characteristic of someone who's vector trained. Positivity. I think that the natural default of vector trained is optimism. It really is. It's but we're going to find a way. I don't know. It's almost to the point of ignorance. Like, so how are you? Oh, I have no idea. But we're going to find a way. And I think if you're going to have a default, I'd rather that be the default than I don't know. We're
For
screwed.
sure.
We're screwed. I don't know, but we're screwed. Like the default of positivity is always better. Always.
There's a quote that like life doesn't just happen to you, it happens for you. And the more that we're looking for the reasons why, right, things are occurring in our life that are going to be constructive, that are going to add value to us in the long run, the more positive we are and the more likely we are to end up succeeding and having what we want. So it seems like you're somebody that really has exemplified that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Any other last thoughts on the idea, the concept of vector trained?
Yeah, I have one thought. It's a little different direction. So it's the concept of being a big fish in a small pond. You know, for years, I remember thinking when I get out into corporate America, and I'm a big time doctor, in the big realm of the real world and the big world. But there's something great about vector with the energy. And here, you know, you can be a rock star here. Here, you can be the big fish, and maybe it's temporary, maybe it's permanent, but you can be a big fish in a little pond here, a la Malcolm Gladwell and Outliers. And it's just such a great feeling. And whatever someone's duration is and tenure with us is, I find that when they really embrace that, they get so much from the opportunity, from the experience, from the training, because they just realize, okay, be the head of the mouse or the tail of the lion. And there's something great about being the head of the mouse sometimes. It's really fun.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's flashback episode of Changing Lives Selling Knives, you can find the full episode and show notes at changinglivespodcast.com. You can also sign up there to receive free resources from me and some of our amazing guests. Please consider rating or reviewing us on your podcast player and hit the subscribe button so future episodes are automatically downloaded directly to your device. This is Dan Cassetta signing off. We'll be back in a few days for our next story about changing lives.
Excellent stuff right there. So let's go ahead. Let's have a brief little discussion right here. So go ahead in the chat, guys. Give me your top one, two, or three takeaways from what you just heard in the Changing Lives Selling Knives podcast right there. What really stuck out to you? What points that were made were the ones that really resonated with you, either because it's what you're in the process of developing, or you've developed it already, but you're honing it even more? Because I think that growth is a constant journey. I don't think you ever like truly get there. I think it's constant, like a constant journey. Caroline said leaders and big fish in the small pond. I definitely like that analogy that he talked about, being a big fish in a small pond. I think that's awesome. There's something to say about that. Alyssa said we create our team's culture. I love that. By the way, feel free to unmute if you want to say it out loud, for sure. But I definitely believe we create our team's culture. We always talk about being the thermostat, not being the thermometer. Like, we control the heat, we control the temperature. Evan said, most for time, be the head of the mouse or the tail of the lion. I thought that was definitely, I've never thought of it like that. As most people know, I love lions in a big way. But I never thought about it that way. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Kay said you bring the energy on every cut code demo. Yeah, like we talk about being default positive, high energy, things like that. So I think that absolutely matters. You guys, most of you have seen the 4 levels of energy video with Matthew Kelly. 4th level being confident, joyful, enthusiastic, and invigorated. We talk about how important it is to bring that energy to each demo that you do. That's definitely good, for sure. Jordan talked about creating the energy, being the energy. I think that's really, really important for certain. So much good stuff shared right there. So as you guys can tell, every single Changing Lives Selling Knives podcast has stuff just like that. It has like just wisdom, millions of dollars in sales, like from these people that are on here. Just lots of wisdom, lots of goods, lots of great information being shared. So highly recommend you check out the Changing Lives Selling Knives podcast, because there's definitely some good stuff. The more positive and the more good fuel that you're giving your brain, the better off that you're going to be. Okay. The more good, like healthy, inspiring, encouraging fuel that you're giving yourself, the better your brain is going to perform on optimal level. So I agree, Leah. It's definitely a great podcast. Good tip. Listen to it while you're driving. Okay. There's nothing wrong with listening to the radio, but what if half the time you listen to the radio, the other half the time you listen to something that's like awe-inspiring, encouraging, like good stuff. So Kay said, if you want to think like a millionaire, listen to millionaires. Yeah. Don't listen to someone that's broke. Okay. Unless like they can tell you how they became broke because they were once a millionaire or something like, I don't know, whatever. But for certain, Changing Lives Selling Knives podcast has so much good stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's dive back in. Let's dive back into the next section.
Josh, I'm going to add.
Yep, go ahead.
Just one quick thing. So he had talked about energy, and I would write down high energy. The reason being is sales is just a transfer of energy. That's all it is. If you want to be great at selling something, you got to be very excited and you want to promote it. So it is just a transfer of energy. So if you're going to be an assistant manager this summer, whatever it is, I don't care what the event is, whether it's meeting with Chris Hammond, you're talking to somebody about advanced training, you're talking about somebody about their first team meeting, you should be like, oh my gosh, like you got invited to this meeting. Like this meeting's going to be amazing. Like you're going to learn so much stuff. If you bring that type of energy to it, that young person will get on that meeting because you're energetic and you're excited about their journey within our company. But you should always bring the energy every single time. Same thing on the demo. A lot of people always want like some tip or some trick on how to sell Cutco. In my opinion, you got to just be more energetic than where you're at right now, especially about the other stuff that you're not that energetic about. Why are people buying the knives and not the pans? Well, because you're like a level 9 or 10 on some of the knives, but when you get to the pans, you bring your energy down to a 2 or 3. Now, if you brought a 9 or 10 energy level about those Cutco pots and pans, you would sell Cutco pots and pans. It's because your energy goes down on the stuff you don't know about or you're not as confident on. And so because your energy is lower, you're not selling them as much. Same thing about the can opener, peeler, gardening tools. Where your energy goes, like if you get excited about the gardening tools, that's why you're selling the gardening tools, because you're excited about them. So you will always sell what you're excited about. Biggest tip, be excited about every single product Cutco makes, and you will sell more of those. So if you want to learn take anything away from this about selling, just bring your energy up on all the Cutco products. Yes, can you learn more about those products? 100%, but don't dip in energy. Keep your energy up when you're showing them something Cutco related. Keep it up to a 9 or 10. Don't drop your energy because you're not going to sell that item if you drop your energy. And I've done that before. I've dropped my energy at different times on different products. Weird, they don't want those ones. They want what I get excited about. So if you get excited about everything, you're going to sell way, way more. You'll sell more entertainer packs because you're energetic about all the gadgets. You'll sell more cookware sets because you're energetic about all the cookware. You'll sell more homemakers if you're energetic about all the knives, not just individual pieces. Get excited about those freaking forks. Get excited about that spatula spreader. Get excited about that butcher knife and how it looks like Aladdin's sword and how amazing it is for watermelon and butternut squash. If your energy is high, you will sell more of those. So high energy. But that's my tip. I just wanted to dive deeper in before we move on to Buffalo Rep Dashboard. And for assistant managers or future assistant managers, always stay high energy about any topic, any meeting, any event, any conference. If you don't know much about it, ask the manager. They'll provide high energy, and then you'll be able to replicate that high energy to other people when you're an assistant. Take it away, Josh.
Awesome. So guys, again, you're going to want to have this website bookmarked. You're going to want to write it down. You're going to want to have it in your Cutco toolkit. Have it in your arsenal, okay? So let's go ahead and let's talk about my latest creation, I guess you would call it, BuffaloRepDashboard.com. So I got to move the, there we go. Now I got some room to see everything here. So guys, on the home page, if you need a base pay form, boom, you can click right there. Quick link to your Vector Connect. Quick link to the interactive demo, the new updated demo. If you want some Mother's Day specials, boom, you just click right here. Brings you to some Mother's Day specials. Boom, so you got that. Go back to the home page though. Okay. So we got a few things. We got the field service number right here, customer service, times. So check out the next divisional event, guys. We got SLDM, the first one of the year, sales leadership development meeting with our division manager, Chris Hammond. So you want to network with the division manager. You want to learn about more advancement opportunities, how to get into the leadership academy for the 2021-2022 class. You want to learn about advanced demo skills. We have it coming up next Wednesday. Time is still being locked in, but it's going to be on bit.ly/Empire Division Zoom. Talk to your district manager or branch manager about that, because you definitely want to be on. Now, side note, just in case you didn't see it in the group chat today, you only need to attend one SLDM. So if you go to next Wednesdays, you don't have to go to like the one in June or like July or August or anything like that. So SLDM is just a one-time thing, but it's offered a few different times. So some schedule of events, your base pay sheets due on Mondays. Make sure that you're not forgetting about that. Tuesday always is the first day of the sales week. Wednesday, 99% of the time is our team meeting. Thursdays, we usually have a phone jam in the evening time. Fridays, your direct deposit hits from the previous week. Saturdays, we usually have a phone jam. Sundays, we usually have a phone jam. But also, we have other events going on as well. Key staff happening at times. PCs with your manager, getting field training in, conferences and division meetings. Champions Club is going to be unveiled within the next couple weeks. Plus, I know that we're going to be trying to plan locally for our local offices, like a team night, like once or twice a month, especially since capacity limits are like leaving and all that sort of cool stuff across New York State, which is really, really excited. I don't know how it is in Pennsylvania, but we just had some like 35% or whatever it is capacity limits kind of going away. If you're wondering when the upcoming events are for the summer, in May, if you're an assistant manager, mark this in your schedule, guys. May 11th, assistant manager Zoom with Jeff Bry. Time in the Zoom link is going to be determined, but it's coming up on the 11th. Put in your big calendar, okay? The 12th, SLDM. I know it says 11:30 to 1:30 right there, but that's not 100% set in stone. On the 26th, We got the division meeting and the SC1 kickoff on the Empire Division Zoom. That's with the entire Empire Division. On the 31st, May 31st, guys, that Monday, it's the first day of the SC1 push. I can still remember meeting Case way back in 2010 at the very first SC1 of the year. He was this hotshot new rep from Erie, Pennsylvania. I was running the #1 office in the division, and just this guy that just finished up a 10K fast start come up, and he was crushing it. And little did I know that that guy would become one of my best friends in the history of the world, one of my favorite people, and that was Case Koenig a long time ago. You got the events for June here. July and August coming up. If you're on the North Buffalo squad, we got the PDI and communication guidelines and reminders. So if you're on the North Buff squad, we might even be able to get like an Erie or NOCO section if you're on those teams for that too. Vector impact stuff, base pay guidelines, some keys to success, all sorts of stuff. So fall in love with the phone, making sure you're 5 ahead, upwards of 10 ahead on your demos, making sure you're making 5 calls before and after each demo, focusing on your best 5, having a good work ethic, positive attitude, following the program, being coachable, positive expectations, believe in yourself, work hard for 2 weeks and see what kind of amazing things can happen. If you're in your fast start still, focus on doing twice as many demos in your fast start and passing your first promotion right away. So lots of good tips, reminders, stuff like that. If you're not that familiar with the interactive demo yet, well, guess what? We got the answer for you. Look at what we got here, guys. We have a live interactive demo with a real live customer, not just like us role playing, but a live interactive demo. We got an interactive demo walkthrough, like A to Z right here. We got a screenshot, like if you don't want to watch the full video and you just want like screenshots, notes, stuff like that, we got a screenshot walkthrough of setting up the interactive demo. And then more screenshots, like the email they receive from when the demo's booked, live version of logging in, what it looks like, different screenshots. In the morning of the demo, when you send the confirmation email, you got all of that. If you don't know how to make a Zoom link or how to find your Zoom link, it's right here. So you got everything you need, guys. And if you just click here, you can practice and role play the interactive demo right here. So check this out. You click here for training mode. So if you're like, I haven't done an interactive demo yet, that's okay. This is training mode. Put your email in here. Put your, I'm so old, guys, that I have a 3 in front of my rep number. You guys are in like the 5s and 6s. I'm in the 3s. So boom, start training. So you just click in. And then you got your talking notes on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side is exactly what the customer sees. So you control every single thing the customer sees. How cool, how ridiculously awesome is that? So you're catching up, yada, yada. It shows you how to walk them through downloading the MyCutco Rep app. So where you get the feedback and stuff like that from the customer. You can play either video, depending on if they have an iPhone or if they have an Android. Play either video, the About Me section, where like right here, your bio will come in, all that good stuff. Okay, talk about that, how Cutco is awesome. The video, you press play, so you control when they're looking at the video. We enhanced homemaker set version, which is really cool. If you've heard of myvectordemo.com, it's this script right on here. Okay, some advanced names and uses with the paring knife plus a paring knife video. I know sometimes like in the past, you're like, oh, why don't they talk about the paring knife more in the video? Well, guess what? Now we got an extra video, show the paring knife at work with some extra names and uses. Trimmer, spatula spreader, so on, butcher knife, petite chef, slicer. Every one of them, guys, has a video with extra names and uses. So it's also going to help you guys as well. Talk about storage options, kitchen tools, entertainer pack, summarizing the demo for the customer, helping them selecting the best option. We threw in, now we have a price comparison. You know how we do the price comparison during training? Now we do that with the customer too. Helping them select the best option. Dropping down is so easy, guys. So easy. And it's all connected to the Cutco Orders app. So it's not right here, but when you're in the actual site, it's got the set prices, the objection scripts right there. Everything's just one button click away. It's so cool. We got the starter sets right here. More customizing options, the different deals that we do, the buy now bonus, gifts and accessories, walking them through the table knives, the steak knives, can opener, wine opener, cheese knives, flatware, the cookware, the sporting knives, the gardening tools, the barbecue set, the gift sets, the baking set, the different sheaths. So now if you just keep pressing next, you cannot forget anything. Like, it's impossible. You just keep pressing next. And if, like, let's say they buy the Homemaker right away and you want to just jump down then to the cookware and all that good stuff, boom, you just go right down to it. You just click this thing right here. And then it's all right there. And then, whoops, timeout. Gift sets, boom, bake set, sheaths. Wish list stuff. Wish list you can do right on the computer for them now, which is awesome. Now, how to get recommendations. It's all right here with the Vector Impact. Like, it goes, the names will go right into your Vector Impact app. It's all right here. So we definitely love that too. So exciting, so awesome. And then boom, you just finished your demo. You're ready to roll, okay? All of that stuff, guys, it's all right in the interactive demo website right here. Also, on the My Vector demo site, let's say you just want to practice role playing, like without bringing up the actual interactive demo, or you want some like reminders of some tips from training and stuff like that. Well, the whole script is right here in the My Vector demo tab. You got the gifts and accessories, you got recommendations, product info stuff, phoning and scheduling. So your phone scripts, it's all right here. Tips for scheduling appointments, phone approaches, the video from Stacy, if you remember, email confirmations, sending them like the night before, morning of, whatever it is. So you got all that right there. There's an advanced Cutco owners part. So sharpening and repair. Guys, we even have a video here, how to package Cutco to send back to the factory. Clicking here to help the customer with directions to send back their Cutco. Goes right to Cutco.com, which is pretty cool. Getting customer testimonials, what to say when you're getting a testimonial is right here. How to create a wish list with Cutco owners. It's all right here. We got our specials tab, Mother's Day specials, first week specials. So you got like some silver cup specials and like friends and family discounts and stuff like that. All right here. So you got that. Contest page. So if you're like, crap, I forgot what contest is happening right now. Well, if you're in your fast start, we got the fast start. Century Club for the summer. We got the summer kickoff contest for assistant managers. Virtual summer, the Virtual Summit National Push Contest. So if you click that, you can watch that video. We got some extra pro tips right here. You can check that out. Here's like read some testimonials, some videos, some text message scripts and stuff. We got some social media stuff, utilizing social media for more demos, like getting more appointments document, utilizing Facebook like during and after the demo. So getting more appointments and stuff, different types of messages you could send, all sorts of stuff like Facebook posts that people can put up for you, how to approach people like about Facebook during the demo. So which is obviously always pretty helpful. Not during the demo, like messages to send and getting permission from someone to message their friends and stuff like that. So many different things on this dashboard site. And the good thing is, since me, Case, and Alyssa control this, that means that we can update it all the time when like the most up-to-date like promotions come out and the most up-to-date contests and things like that. So since it's not like Vector headquarter controlled, we have full autonomy on what we put onto here, which is something that I definitely like. So we don't have to wait for someone to like post the newest like special or whatever it is. Like we can do it all ourselves because we have control over this thing right here. So again, BuffaloRepDashboard.com. The interactive demo is probably the most important part because it's the most up-to-date demonstration that we have. Numbers are off the roof with this thing. Super, super awesome. So if you just click this button right here, interactive demo sign in, it'll take you right to your, because it goes through the, or it's linked to the Cutco Orders app. So it'll take you right there. So definitely is pretty awesome. So you guys are going to love it. And if you just watch like the videos and the resources on it, it has everything that you need right here, guys. So pretty darn exciting for sure. So Case, Alyssa, Jacob, Austin, before we go in, anything else you guys want me to cover about the website right here? Give me a thumbs up, managers, if we're good then.
I was just going to say that you need to make sure you're signed into Vector Impact and you update your bio and everything like that before you're trying to get into the interactive demo. If you have not downloaded the Vector Impact app, it'll tell you you must sign up and complete your bio before you can do the interactive demo, which means the manager will need to either get you the link or it's in your email because in training you got that Vector Impact link. Or we can go back to your original training, go to the bottom and click Send Vector Impact, and then you can then get the email to then access and click on it. So you can log in and therefore then do a demo. I just wanted to thank Jax for going through this with me for an hour the one night. We did a interactive demo. So Jax, what were your thoughts on the interactive demo and walking through it and the first time around? And I was just on the phone kind of guiding you. What were your thoughts?
I'd say it's definitely a lot more efficient for sure. It really goes into detail on the different items a lot more than the other demos. So
perfect. And the reason that does that is because the reason we use this one now is because people have a better chance of selling sets of Cutco on this demo. They have a better chance of either selling a homemaker and maybe, bumping people up to a signature ultimate, or they have a really good chance at finishing at a galley set with scissors for free instead of going down to 3 pieces. And just think like this. Think of all the ladies that have bought 3 pieces from you. Imagine if most of them bought a galley set from you or an essentials, where you would be at in sales right now. And I'm not just talking about the people on like the people that are new. I'm thinking of all the people on the call. You might be $7,000 or $10,000 higher or $3,000 higher than what your current number is. And even if it was only $3,000, that could be an extra $900 in your income because of a better site to click through. So that's why it matters for representatives and why it matters as an assistant Same thing, and same thing with managers is our numbers will just typically be higher using this demo. And Jax just threw his cat out the window. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, guys. It's just it's going to make your business more efficient. It's a central location for everything that we need to cover. Reminders, like if you aren't sure of like what the next like divisional or regional events that are happening, it's all right there. So BuffaloRepDashboard.com. Make sure you bookmark it, tab it, like whatever it's called on your computer. It is going to help you significantly. Like I wish that, because I'm terrible at writing something down and then like remembering where I put it or whatever it happens to be. But now if you forget something, most likely you can just go to the website and it's right there. So I hope you guys get great use out of it. I'm glad that this came to fruition, and I know it's going to help our teams a ton. So next thing that we're going to dive into is we're going to go into a little Ask Us Anything. Okay, you've got questions, we've got answers. Okay, so what you want to do is either unmute yourself. This is kind of a freestyle, I guess you would say. There's no like true, I guess, system for this, but think about any questions you want to ask before that, like either you didn't know how to, or whatever it happens to be. Either put them in the chat, send it to us like privately, or whatever it happens to be. If you don't want us to use your name, indicate that in the message, okay? But go ahead, ask us whatever you're thinking, whatever you want to know. We got about 15 minutes, plenty of time. What are the things that are on your mind? Could be advancement related questions. Could be how-to questions. Could be, what do you think of this type? Thanks, Case. I'm a boxer brief, actually, kind of fellow. So whatever you want, guys. Whatever types of questions that, hopefully it's better than that one, though. Just kidding. Great question, Case.
I got a question.
Yes.
And Josh and Case can answer first, and then I'll throw in whatever. But what's the best way to stay consistent with booking demos during the summer?
I'll go first on that one. The best way to stay consistent with booking demos in the summer is you got to have a strong purpose, goals, and accountability with your manager. Okay. So for example, Alyssa hit K Club, Case hit K Club, I hit K Club. We all hit K Club, meaning like we're the most consistent reps on our team. So how did we get there? Well, we had lots of communication with our district manager for sure. Okay, that one was a big one. So our district managers helped us with staying on track with our goals. So that was huge. Second thing is we had a strong purpose. Like we wanted it for ourselves too, not just like helping our team and things like that, but like it meant a lot to us to have that consistency week in and week out. Because if you have those goals, you obviously know that the only way to hit those is you have to make sure that you're making phone calls to set up the demos. So my thing was I always had to be at 1,000 by Friday night, because when I was a sales rep, I wanted to be at my like must do or should do by Friday at a minimum. So that way, anything I did Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that was just gravy. That was just on top of like what I was already going to do. So it was a little bit like we didn't have the concept of 5 before, 5 after back then. We didn't have like all these like different things, and like cell phones were not as prevalent. We used a lot of home phones for phoning back then. Because remember, like I sold in 2007. So like one of the things that I did personally is I usually did a big phone jam on Sunday night and a big phone jam on either Wednesday or Thursday night, whenever my team's team meeting was. So I would usually set up like 5 or 6 demos each one. And from there, I would have like my 8 to 12 demos booked up that I wanted to do to hit my minimum or my should do goals. And if I had a better phone jam, then awesome. So that's what I focused on. Case and Alyssa, what'd you guys focus on?
I mean, you covered a lot there, Josh. And honestly, I have another question. Maybe I could just direct this one to Case because you covered a lot there.
I'm going to cover this one real quick.
Okay.
So all I did, I made a bunch of phone calls on Sunday nights, typically for 2 to 3 hours. And I always wanted between 7 to 10 demos booked up. And then on Wednesday nights during the meetings, or Thursday, whatever night the meeting was, because they would flip-flop on occasion, I would also shoot for another 7 demos, and I'd call for about an hour to 2 hours. Sometimes we had less phone time, but I usually wanted 7 appointments booked up. And my manager was really good at helping me get to 7 or get a higher number. There were many times where I would have a couple, and then he would offer me like, hey, dude, I'll buy you free appetizers if you get to 7 or 10. Or, hey, I'll give you $10 if you get to your goal because we need somebody to lead today, and you're that guy for us, so we need you to hit your number. So he would give me extra individual incentives for me to get to 7 to 10 a lot of times at meetings. And that always led to 10 to 15 demos each week. And I happened to keep selling $3,000 for multiple weeks in a row. And it wasn't until 3rd or 4th week we started really focusing on the 3K number. And then I would do anything in my power to hit that 3K number. And I always believed that it could happen on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Always I got all my papers done last minute. I always got my assignments and studying done last minute. So I always believed that if I kept going up until Monday at midnight, I could always make it happen. And there was only 1 week where it was really close and it meant a lot to me. So I bought a homemaker. It was one of those weeks I bought my own homemaker to hit 3K club. So one of those weeks I bought a red homemaker +8. And because I was making so much money, roughly $1,000 to $1,500 many weeks, again, buying a homemaker for $1,000 was not that big of a deal to me, but it meant so much to me that I did have to buy my own homemaker the 1 week to hit 3K club. When you have a goal, you'll go for it. And so therefore I hit it the 1 week. So it took 10 weeks of doing that. And then I just did, again, since there's 16 weeks in the summer, the last few weeks I didn't work as hard, but I did work really hard that last week again, in the last week of August, to win the Cutco scholarship. Because if you go for 3K for 10 weeks, you'll sell $30,000, and then you have a really good chance to win the Cutco scholarship. And so you might have to work a little bit harder 1 extra week to win it. And so I had to work really hard that last week of August. Okay, but Alyssa, take it away.
Yeah, so the next question I have is from Leah. And Leah said, should you ever give up on rescheduling a demo with someone if they have bailed more than twice?
I would say, in my opinion, I don't think at least in my world, it's not a no until like it's a full no. Like I'll keep rescheduling, I'll keep calling. Like I remember, for example, like there's one customer, the Tuttles. I didn't even like their son. He was like this kid who was huge. So like he should have been awesome at football, but he was not awesome at all. He was actually like our worst offensive and defensive lineman. So I would get so frustrated with him. And so I did not like him at all. But his parents were really cool. And so I tried setting up a demo with them all summer. Kept getting rescheduled, kept getting like, no, this week's not going to work. Calling me like all summer. Went away to school. Didn't have a virtual demo program back then. Came back home over winter break. The electricity goes out in our town. But they didn't call me to cancel the demo, so I'm showing up at their house. We do the demo in candles. I sell them a homemaker +8. So it took me like probably started in like June trying to set up the demo. I sold it in freaking December, but our team, it also helped our team win the Silver Cup that year and be the first district in Empire ever to do $1 million. So it still counted. It mattered. So I have a couple other stories about people that took forever to get the demo with, but if it's not a no to me, like if it's not like a definite no, we're never going to do a demo, then I'm just going to keep trying.
Okay. And then I'm going to share something about that. Because it's online, I think you can always follow up with people at any point in time. And so you should, in my opinion, you should always keep trying. Back in the day, though, when you had to drive to people's homes, and if people weren't there or whatnot, usually for me, I gave them two options. So I would book up the demo. I remember the one lady, Kathy Meyer, I went out to her house. She wasn't there. I called her. She said she had forgot. We rescheduled literally for like 2 days later. I was pretty adamant about it. I sent her a text that morning. I went there again. She was not there again. And her husband was, and we just chit-chatted in the driveway. But after that, I was like, okay, this lady doesn't deserve Cutco. I'm not going to waste my time and energy to come see her again. That's her own fault. That's her own bad. Screw this. I'm moving on. So in that regard, I thought that lady kind of was a bummer, and I didn't show that lady Cutco, and she doesn't deserve to own Cutco, and she doesn't own any Cutco. I did give her daughter a piece of Cutco for her wedding because I knew that she wasn't going to get it from Kathy because Kathy never saw Case's demo back in 2010. So Allison Myers, who is a good friend of mine, does own some Cutco because I gave it to her. So, because it's online nowadays, there is zero reason you shouldn't still send a text to a lady and go, hey, Donna, I know we had played phone tag a couple times and I know I've been reaching out. Are you free later tonight to talk to real quick? There's zero bad that could come from that. A lot of ladies will go, oh, sure, I'm free, Leah. Or they might ignore you for a day or two, but whatever. But the whole point is there's zero harm that will come from you reaching out and sending a text to that lady. But what is the upside of it? You could get another demo and you have a chance to sell her a bunch of Cutco, or B, get referrals to 10 or 15 or 20 of her friends, which that's the other benefit of the new demo and the new app that we're using. People are getting way more referrals. Jessica got 41. I know Jacob got like 15, and new young man named Jacob, not the Jacob on the call, but people are getting more referrals from their online demos as well. So because it's online nowadays and you're in front of your computer anyways, literally if you could just pick one morning on a Monday morning to send out 7 texts to the ladies that keep rescheduling or moving, you'll probably get 1 or 2 to book up with you later that day. And there's no harm in sending out a group of texts, and again, one at a time. But literally it's super easy to do copy and paste and probably turn what was a 0 into a potential 300, 800, or 6 referrals, 15 referrals. There's no reason not to send that text. I feel like a lot of people give up on those people too quickly, and you could turn those people into something at any point in time just by sending out a few messages on one. Now, don't take a whole week and don't put a lot of mental energy into those people. Literally just 3 to 5, minutes in the morning, sending them a quick text and trying to turn those people into a phone call or a demo later. Once a week wouldn't be a bad idea for that 5 to 7 minutes of time. But again, don't put a lot of mental energy into it. Focus on new people, focus on calling new people, focus on messaging new people. Don't get caught up in trying to reschedule a demo and you let that affect the rest of your day. So you move on quickly.
Cool beans. I have another question, and I actually would like to answer this one first, if y'all don't mind. It's another question from Leah. So if a small group of people wanted to watch a demo together, would that be a good idea, so long as they all plan on buying something? All right, so this I have conflicting feelings about, and I'm going to tell you why. So I did one of these very early on in my Cutco career, before I really understood why they can fail. So on one side, if you get a group of people and they're all like, yeah, we love Cutco, yeah, well, like we're really excited, it can be good, but it only takes one person to say, man, that's expensive. Or how much is that? or, oh no, that homemaker's way too big for me. And then that goes into the minds of everybody else. So whether they were going to get a homemaker or not, they're probably going to get what the most vocal person gets because they're sharing their opinions more. So if the most vocal person is being positive, that's really good. If the most vocal person is negative, that's really bad. And the downside of a group situation is that you don't know which one's going to occur until you're in the middle of it, right? So when we're trained to show Cutco, we're trained to show individuals or couples, because if you're showing an individual, they can only take their own opinion. And if you're showing a couple, they're going to have a quick 3 to 5 second conversation about whether they like the homemaker or not, and then they're going to make a decision. If you get a group of 3 to 5 ladies, they are going to take each other's opinions far too seriously. Even if one lady in the group is a millionaire, if everybody else in the group just buys a veggie peeler, chances are that lady's just buying a veggie peeler, even though you know she's more than capable of buying a Homey, say, Ultimate, Cutco Kitchen, whatever it might be. So my personal answer would be steer away from group demos and just tell people, if they're like, oh, well, we want to do it as a group, say, actually, I only get paid if I just do it one-on-one with a couple. That's my contract, you know, so that people can't get mad at you for doing your job, because you're doing your job the way we taught you to do it. Case or Josh, if you have anything to piggyback on that, that's kind of my opinion about group demos.
One small thing, and I agree 100% with everything that Alyssa just said. I think about it like this: the squeaky, I think it's the saying is like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, the squeaky person is usually the negative person. The loudest person is usually the negative person, okay? Think about a comment section on social media. Typically, if a comment section is going off, it's people arguing or being negative or whatever it happens to be. Unless it's a wedding, a new job, a baby announcement, or graduation, it's almost exclusively negative in the comment section outside of like those situations. So you don't want like that one negative person to drop all the other awesome customers, because people don't want to make their friends feel bad by buying something. Like people are, you guys might think that adults all of a sudden stop caring what people think as they get older. I promise you that's not the case. Older does not mean you're more confident. Older does not mean that you care less about what others think. People care just as much in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s about what other people think, about what they're buying or what they're doing or what they're like, all those things, just as much as like your insecure teenager thinks about it. So I think that's an important reminder to adults can absolutely be worse, and way worse in some cases, about that kind of stuff. So Case, anything else you wanted to add to that too?
I would just say group demos are very, very, very tricky. And Alyssa covered all of those. I'm not saying at some point in time, in some certain instance, you couldn't share your thoughts or a certain situation, and there might be a time and place. And the only time and place I could think of is the daughter knows she's getting Cutco as a wedding gift, but her mom wants to know what that wedding gift is. Hypothetically, you could do a demo with the daughter and son-in-law and the mom and dad at the same time. All on Zoom. The daughter and son get off on Zoom, and then you can then finish up with selling that couple the right set that they wanted. And by the way, with the interactive demo, I want you to understand this. You can send out multiple Zoom links through their email. So you could have Bill and Mary. Bill's at work, Mary's at work. They're both able to click the link and be on the demo at the same time. And then the son and daughter are able to click on that link at the same time So all parties are on the Zoom call together during the demo. The son and daughter get off after they say what set they want. They get off, and then the mom and dad, you continue the demo with the mom and dad. The mom and dad buy a homemaker for the kid, a signature for themselves. You give an entertainer pack because, again, they bundled it, bought 2 sets, and you just sold a buttload of Cutco because you set it up the right way versus doing a demo and they didn't buy anything, or they're going to talk it over, or whatever that crap is. That doesn't happen. We do demos together and we sell Cutco with husbands and wives, or in that one situation, maybe it's smart to have the younger party involved on the Zoom call. And that's only if you knew that going into the demo.
Case, Evan had a question. I don't know if it's a short answer or a longer answer, but he said, my old Army recruiter wants to buy 12 K-Bar Explorers for the new privates for the office. Do we have a military deal? So how would you handle that sort of situation when it's like almost like a bulk type thing?
Correct. So there's always a deal. Realize this, every time when people ask if there's a deal, a special, whatever, you just say, actually, I bet there is. Let me call my manager, especially with the holiday going on, there's probably a deal. Or actually, Mary, that's a great question. I'm going to call my manager to find that out right now while we're still on the phone. Do not say, actually, I don't think there is. You pretty much just said, don't buy anything today. Okay, that's literally what you told her to do. Or, oh, it's just one piece, Mary. Nope, no deal. Okay. Again, you said, I don't want to sell that knife today, so that's why I'm saying no. So what you do is you go, actually, that's a great question. Let me call my manager and see what kind of deals there are, or if there is a deal on that item right now, Mary. And then you call, you have a conversation one-on-one with your manager, and then the goal is to put together a deal for them. So in that situation, what I'd do for Evan, I'd say, hey, Evan, write this down. So because he'd be buying in bulk, we're going to give him $200 some off. So he's going to be buying 11 and getting one and we're going to save him $200 because he's buying it through you. However, let him know if he doubles his order, we're going to give him 2 K-bars and he's going to save $400 by buying bigger. And we would keep adding. Like if he buys 25 K-bars, Evan, we're going to give him 3 of them for free plus a pair of scissors for his wife. So if he wants to buy in bulk, we're going to give him a bigger deal. Also, because he's looking at K-bars, Evan, ask him if he would even slightly consider a set of Cutco for his own house. Because if he buys a set of Cutco plus these K-bars for the military guys, we'll even give him a bigger discount on his set at the same time. So find out if he's thinking about or slightly considering other Cutco, and just call me back and we'll give him a bulk discount on a set of Cutco and his 12 K-bars. But yes, there is a deal today on that. Okay. And so my goal is not to just get a really cool order. It's to get a bigger, juicier order for Evan. And that way Evan can be like, holy crap, Case, I just hit 2 promotions. Or, hey, Case, I just sold $4,000. Okay. And I'll be like, yeah, you did, Evan. And you want to know why? Because you called me during, and you're going to get rewarded financially for doing that versus saying, no, there's no discount. And then the guy doesn't buy it. And then 2 months from now, he goes on Cutco.com and just buys 6 K-bars at full price, and Evan didn't even get credit, which is a kick in the pants. Okay. So we'd much rather have you call us, get a deal, and get a bigger, juicier paycheck for calling your manager and using that extra 30 seconds, that extra 3 minutes on the phone with your manager can be the difference of you making a big, juicy paycheck or having a baby sale, a no sale, or an okay sale, but we will get it juicier than what it was going to be if you call us. But yes, Evan, there's a deal for that guy, and call me later and we'll work out a deal for that guy.
Awesome. Jacob, I know you have a question, and then Alyssa's got one right after you.
Yeah, so for all these newer people and people that are looking to move up, I know that maybe not the newer people, but some of the people who have been with the company for a little bit, we always hear that CPO talks, right? The more Cutco that you sell, the better position you are in to move up to be an assistant, branch manager, district manager, whatever the case may be. But what would you guys say is another thing or a few things that would be beneficial to help you progress and help you have an opportunity to move up to, again, be an assistant BM or DM.
Well, I'll go ahead and start because I'm the one on the district manager chain. I'm the newest, so I won't have as much wisdom to offer. But I think one thing that made a really big difference in my confidence in running an office was giving my first talk at a division meeting. Ask, someone how to do that, or approach Chris and be like, hey, like if you ever need someone to do a talk, let me know. Like I'd be happy to do one. It transforms your confidence from, okay, I can present Cutco to people, to, okay, I can present myself in front of a large crowd of people or a large group of people. And that's essentially what you're doing every time you get on an interview, every time you get on training, every time you get on a meeting. But being able to give a message to those people and have people receive it, I think that's something that really not only made me realize that I could move up, but made others realize that I was capable of moving up. So just having a voice, but knowing how to present your voice in a professional and confident way.
Awesome. I just have a couple quick things. She said, like Alyssa talked about giving a talk at a division meeting. You can even start small. Ask your manager if you could do a talk at our local Wednesday night team meeting. Those are big time as well, for sure. Case mentioned attendance. So without a doubt, the best ability is availability. You may or may not have heard that, but the best ability is availability. Okay. So make yourself available as much as possible for like the region events, the divisional events, our local team meetings. Being a team builder, how many friends do you have on the team? Like just helping us build a team, helping us get the word about positions available through social media. And then finally, just asking your manager directly, hey, is there anything I can do to help? Is there anything I can do to help the team? Is there anything outside of like besides just selling Cutco? Because of course, selling Cutco is always going to help the team, but just ask your manager how you can help. And what about you, Case? What's your, what would you say?
I had wrote down or typed in not only attendance to region events, but also being engaged on there. Like Jake Doherty over the last 2 years has always been very involved in every event. He's always chattering in the event to the point where you have to acknowledge him and you can't ignore him. You have to be either, if you want to move up, you have to be always on that person's mind. So you should always be chattering in the divisional events or on the region events. So Chris and Jeff are seeing your name and thinking of you. Because if you stay quiet the whole time, they don't think of you because they're not hearing your name or seeing your name. And same thing with performance. Having a bunch of PRs, friends on the team, or whether it's setting up a lot of PRs or social media. That's how Chris Hammond sees your name all the time. And that's how Jeff Bry sees your name all the time. Yes, sales are important. Don't get me wrong. When they see your name on the sales report, they start knowing who you are. But you can also do other activities to make your name well known to the point where they then think of you when they think of the Empire Division or when they think of branches. And so being engaged in the chat, posting things, being on those events, but then also being good at certain things, whether it's helping book up social media people, helping book up PRs, to the point where they constantly see your name. So if there's ever an opening, they'll be like, hey, what about this guy from your division? Because they now know who you are. One thing I would say for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, one thing I didn't do enough is I didn't connect well with Jeff Bry or the people above me as much as I do nowadays. And it's because I thought, well, this guy's my manager. I just should talk to this guy. I shouldn't bother anybody else. But if I would have, I may have moved up faster because I didn't realize the benefit of talking to those people. I thought I shouldn't bother them because they're busy doing other things. Instead of I should have talked to them more and I might have got promoted or at least been considered because they're thinking of me more. So they should always be thinking of you. Now, again, if somebody emails Jeff Bry, he'll sometimes email Chris or the manager and say, hey, talk to this person about that. But again, you got on their radar. They now had to think about you that day. So again, should you always go to Jeff Bry for everything? No, but there are certain things that you could email him or copy him on, whether it's K Club, like I think Alyssa did one time, or things like that. They should know your name. So again, it's better to be vocal versus just being a fly on the wall and very quiet. Same thing for team members. We should always be talking about you every week, because again, the people that were on these calls, those are the people that get promoted to be assistant managers, because we can't ignore you. Like you're a part of it. You're helping our organization. Like you deserve to get promoted because your name's always on these calls each week.
I have one more small thing to kind of piggyback off that. Case was talking about like getting your name known and all of that stuff. Sometimes when I make Instagram posts, for example, when my team was the #2 team for one of our pushes, it was a J Pro push or something, I posted a picture of the award that we won and I tagged Jeff Bry on Instagram. So it's just cool to, like touches. The more touches we have with people, the stronger the connection will be. So we have one more question here, and it's anonymous. It is, what is the best way to organize and manage people that want you to call them back? So like people who are like, hey, I can't talk right now. What do you do with those people?
So I'll briefly touch on that real quick. So people that you need to call back or whatever, first, you should definitely be using the Vector Impact app, because then it organizes it automatically for you. But if you don't trust technology 100%, then have some sort of a paper planner schedule. Like you can go to passionplanner.com, and as long as you agree to just like, I think it's like make a social media post about it or something, you can download the Passion Planner for free. And then you can send it to like Office Depot or Office Max and get it printed out for like, the whole thing will cost less than $10. So it's awesome. Mine is in my book bag, but Passion Planners definitely are solid. So have a not just like Vector Impact system, but also a paper system that, because you can write down reminders and things that you have to do on a daily basis right into there.
Ooh, okay. So I have to say something about the callbacks as well. So generally, I like to call this having a backbone. And it can be really, really hard to have a backbone, but you have to have one. If you don't have one, no one's going to have it for you. So if I call Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Jones picks up the phone, one, I know Mrs. Jones is available because she picked up the phone. And two, she's not that busy. Okay. So if Mrs. Jones says, hey, Alyssa, I can't talk right now, can you call me back? I'm going to say, hey, Mrs. Jones, actually, I just had a real quick question for you. I'd only take about 2 minutes of your time. Do you have just a couple minutes to spare? 9 out of the 10 times, I'm going to get, oh yeah, Alyssa, what's up? I can make it quick. Okay, there is an occasional time where it's like, actually, Alyssa, I'm out to dinner right now. It's kind of loud in here. Could you give me a call back tomorrow? Okay, that's a different circumstance. But if you ask Mrs. Jones if she has a quick 1 to 2 minutes, chances are she does, because again, she answered the phone. So if she answers the phone in the first place, she's not that busy, especially if she's answering the phone to a number that she doesn't even know, right? She's answering and she doesn't even know who you are, but she still answered the phone. So if she answers, you have an opportunity now to say your piece. If you don't take that opportunity, it can be really hard playing phone tag with people. It can be really frustrating. And then you might start to take it personally, like these people don't want to talk to you, when in reality, they wanted to talk to you the first time. You just didn't take the opportunity to talk to them back. So just keep that in mind. If they answer the phone, they're not that busy.
Perfect. And the only thing I was going to say, what I've found is there's a couple reasons why people need a call back. One of them is you don't have a schedule more than just 2 or 3 days in advance. So if somebody's like, well, I can't do this weekend, and then you're like, crap, I didn't write down my schedule for next week. Okay, well, when could I call you back? Or lady's like, well, when can you call me? And you're like, I'll call you back. And then like you hang up. And it's because you just didn't have a planner that went past 3 days. Because if you had a planner, you could actually just look at your planner and go, okay, well, when's a good time for us to connect, Donna? Call me back Tuesday at 4. Okay, so Tuesday at 4, you'll be home then? Yeah, I'll be home Tuesday at 4. Okay, I'll write you down for Tuesday at 4. Oh, actually, I have an opening Tuesday at 4. Could I actually just show you what I was going to show you at Tuesday at 4? I can just get your email and phone number real quick, and it would take like 30 or 40 minutes for me to show you at that time. But since you'll be home, I actually can just show you at 4. Then we don't have to play phone tag. And then you got an appointment, okay? Because you actually talked to her and you realize she's open at that time, she's home. So why wouldn't you just get a demo instead of booking a time to call her back? Because that's just a waste of time and energy, and there's a chance she doesn't pick up, blah, blah, blah. So just turn those callbacks into a demo right then on the spot. So that's the first thing. And if you have a planner, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to literally just do that and turn that into a demo versus a callback. Also, anytime they tell you to call them back, you should always say, I can 100% call you back, Karen. You know, when would be a good time to call you back? And then go for that. If for some reason she can't do the demo, then again, you should really explain to your goals and tell her like why you're trying to do what you're doing. And I could call you back. I just want to let you know I'm going to be really busy that day because I have 3 other appointments with Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Anderson, and their kerbopples, which that's a Simpson term. But I have an appointment with them too. So it'll be really tough for me to give you a call back. But Mary, when would be a good time to call you back? And then you actually write it down. And then this is the trick. You actually call them back at that time when you said you're going to call, because that builds what we call trust. And you go in their trust account where when you call them back at that date and time that you said you were going to call, now they're like, wow, this young person's a professional. Wow, this young kid actually is like doing what he says he's going to do. And that way, when you get to the buying part of Cutco, they trust you more. And they're like, wow, they start seeing you as a professional versus just a young kid just doing this thing as a hobby. You actually wrote it down and you actually called them back at that same time. Because for some of you, even though you told people you'll call them back, you don't pick a date and time to call them back, and then you don't actually call them back, which that degrades your trust with that person. And then you're less likely to book the appointment with that person, and you're less likely to make a sale, even if you do get on that demo, because you didn't follow through with what you had originally said. So, but yeah, just make a schedule a little bit longer, like a couple weeks out, like for the entire month of May. If you're used to doing weekly, do it for the whole month. And also write down when to call them back. But my biggest tip is don't even need to call them back. If you do my first tip, you'll just turn those callbacks into a demo right on the same phone call. And then you'll book up more demos instead of callbacks. Okay.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that was fantastic, guys. Thank you for the questions. Thank you guys for just being curious about everything. I think just about everybody had at least one question for us there. So I definitely like that. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you guys think we should do this type of open discussion more often, or should we never do it again? Thumbs up if we should do it more. Thumbs up. All right, looks like it's unanimous. So we're going to try and work that in every like 3 to 4 weeks then at a minimum. Okay, guys? So that was awesome. Very cool. So just got some great phone tips. Or you just got some great phone tips right there about like someone saying, hey, call me back. So make sure when we dive into this phone jam in like 45 seconds, make sure that you guys are utilizing your phone scripts. Just want to remind you, phone scripts and everything are on BuffaloRepDashboard.com. Feel free to copy and paste and print them out and all that sort of good stuff. So feel free to check out the website. The recording will be posted tomorrow. I can't give you a definite time on when, but the recording for tonight's team meeting will be posted tomorrow. And ironically, about the marketplace, me and Austin are about to go pick up something from the Facebook Marketplace in like 10 minutes, actually. So we'll be heading over to there and picking up a bookshelf because Austin wants to get a sweet bookshelf for himself. So we appreciate your guys' time. Our phone jam is going to be nasty. We're going to get a lot done. I can't wait for you guys to book up a ton of demos to kill your finals, crush your finals, absolutely destroy Vector. I'm so pumped for you guys. You guys are definitely our ride or dies. So we appreciate your time, your efforts, your energy, and all the good questions that you just brought to the team meeting. So I'm going to get some tunes rolling. Let's get those phones bumping. Vector Impact app, role playing the phone approach, utilizing your script, utilizing your objections, all those things. So let's absolutely positively crush it. So I'll get the tunes going and let's do it.